Looking forward to it. Alright, so we are recording, and those of you that aren't able to make the show, you're out there ghosting, you may miss something. This will be available later on YouTube. Should be tomorrow. Unless I get lazy or drunk, then it'll be on whenever I feel like it. But yeah, we're going to be doing an interview here with Joe, so let me pull up some information and we'll get started with that. There we go. And quit flirting with Lost, it only makes him worse. You know he's already like a dog that's not been neutered but needs to be. Don't encourage him. Yes, go get your face on. We will be recording. I've already been recording Lost, so it's too late. Alright, so Joe, like I said, I've known you for quite a while. I originally met you when I was buying from eVapor Clouds way back when. We made pretty good friends, but there's a lot of people here that may not know you. They may know your juice, but they don't know you. So, we're just going to run over some stuff so we can show the people who you are, if that's alright by you.
Sounds good.
Alright. So, first off, Joe, how long have you been vaping for?
Now it will be going on a year and 6 months,
Awesome.
I believe. 7 months. A year and 7 months.
You know,
I put down a cigarette the same day I got my first small kiosk vapor cigarette that really didn't last. I gave my pack away to one of my best friends, and it never looked back.
that's awesome. I know a lot of people have actually gotten ripped off with the mall kiosk stuff, and you're like, well, forget that. If it's this expensive, I'm not sticking with it. So, glad that you did. Now we have like 7 million flavors from you that we'll be able to try soon.
Yeah.
So, you said a year and 7 months. Why did you originally get into vaping?
Well, I wanted to quit smoking. I was going outside in the cold, smoking cigarettes, not waking up feeling like I should. You know, I'm a young guy. I'm not that old. Waking up feeling like an old man. So it was about time, throw away cigarettes. But I quit one time. It went almost 5 months, and I was fine. I thought I was done with cigarettes. 6 months in, I went right back to it. So, I had a relapse, and I started smoking again. So I was like, well, let me try something different. One of my friends had a blue. It was a blue. So I was looking for that. I ended up going to the mall and seeing the little kiosk and picked up a cheap one.
Yeah.
The problem with that was the battery life was crap. So I did a little research, just like everybody else probably did. Went on YouTube, saw a couple videos. I got into an Ego. And then I dripped on that Ego for about 3 months, low resistance. Then I got my first mod, and that was it. That's when I really got into getting mods, juices, started making my own juices at home. And the reason I started making juices, I was spent more on juice than I did on cigarettes at one point because I couldn't find a juice I liked that was my.
Awesome.
I would you'd spend, buy 20 juices, like one. You're giving them away, you're throwing them away.
Yeah.
That's when I started dabbling.
Yeah, and at that point it just gets more expensive than smoking, because at least with smoking, you've got your brand, you know what you like, you know what you're going to spend, where if you're just getting into, vaping and e-cigarettes, it can get frustrating, so you can't find that one thing you like. I went through that myself, everybody does, but, what was I going to say? And I was going to say the Ego, it's funny you bring that up, because I remember the videos you'd put out every so often on Facebook, your quick 1 minute man videos. Be at random just using an Ego, and you're like, see, you can still get a good vape off this. But a lot of people don't realize Ego is still, a good device to use, even though there's mods and everything out there now.
Definitely. I still believe in the tried and true Ego. It's not about what you got, it's about the setup stuff. So now if you're dripping on an Ego, get a 1.5. I went 3 months. I still have that Ego. It's almost 2 years old and it's still fire.
Nice.
I could pop a low resistance on it right now if I had to and vape on it.
Yeah, also I still got 2 Inferno bats of my own I keep for just going around town with, so they're durable, they take a beating for sure. But yeah, they give a great vape as long as you pair them just right.
It's all about the setup. It's not about what you got, it's how you use it.
Yep.
It works for the person.
So, with getting frustrated with all the different juices you tried, couldn't find anything that, tickled your fancy per se, I mean, what made you decide to just say, you know what, instead of keep buying them, I'm just going to look into DIYing some juice?
I figured it'd be cheaper as much as I spent on buying juice to make my own. So I said, let's try it. What do I have to lose? I'm wasting money on this juice from every vendor that's out there. You know, people are screaming from the top of their lungs, it's the best juice in the world. And when I got it, it wasn't.
Right.
You know, it might be just my taste, but to them it was. I complain so much, figured like this. Can't complain unless I try and knock somebody, because maybe it is hard to make. So I started making my own. I didn't want to be a hypocrite, putting people down, so.
Yeah, you got to earn the title before you can waive it, I guess.
Yeah. I took 3 months of mastering my juices. I did it for a while, but 3 months of mastering the juices before I put them up on paper pop, testing it and making them. So it wasn't like I did it willy-nilly. I worked hard to make what I did.
So now, before you got into the whole DIYing thing, with the juices you tried, was it just like constantly bouncing around trying to find a flavor, or did you have one that you vape pretty consistently?
Oh no, it was bouncing around. Finally, I found Bounty Hunt, in which I could do that one all the time, and that was my only vape. You know, you don't want to. It's hard to just keep one vape. It's not like a cigarette. You get tired of a vape. You know,
Right.
it's like too much of a good thing is no good. You can't keep eating chocolate cake just because you love it. Eventually, you're gonna get sick of it.
Right. Now, it's funny you mentioned Bounty Hunter, because, see, when I first got into vaping, the first two juices I bought were 24 milligram Decaying RY4 and USA Mixed Menthol, which I thought were okay. So I saw, oh wow, this Bounty Hunter is available for pretty cheap. Let me try that. And I fell in love with that juice and vaped it for like 4 months straight. That and one other one in between to kind of break up the madness. But yeah, that was a good one for sure. That's weird you bringing that up, though. That is strange, because there's a lot of people that have actually tried it. But so you got into DIYing to try to save some money, which probably didn't happen at first.
No, not at all. Because I was just making juices that were crap too. Then finally, I started thinking of it as cooking a meal, not making a juice. Like the full recipe. Like if I was going to make something, it has, like cookies. It has coconut, cinnamon, vanilla, all the cream. So if I made it at home, that's everything I would have put in. I would put as many flavors as I can in that same juice. So it would kind of resemble it more. And that's how I started doing it. And then, certain flavors are bases. It's not just because it says cinnamon roll or this on it. It's not just that poured in. Yeah, that's a base. Now, with the extra stuff you need, you have to add it in to create, equal a whole. Then I got better and better at it. And then it kind of took off from there.
Yep. So what was the first flavor you ended up making that you said, you know what, this is something I could vape all the time? This is something, possibly maybe I could sell. I don't know what your mindset was, but what was the point that you realized, oh crap, this is actually happening? I made something I could vape all day.
Oh, man. But I can't even say it like that. Coquito, I liked it. That was my first one, Coquito. I vaped that thing nonstop when I first got it, when I first made it, because it was so spot on. It brought back the feeling of Christmas, the feeling of abuela cooking pernil on Christmas Day at her house. So it brought back, nostalgia of, memories and stuff. So I really enjoyed it. So that's why I try to create juices that, are things in life to bring back a memory inside of you. So not only will you like it, it brings back something about in your past that you can think of, like a song. When you hear a song on the radio, you remember back in the day. Oh, I remember back in the day. That's what I try to do.
No, I totally get that. And see, that's what's funny is recently I figure, fall's coming up. So the blend I want to try to make is, a pumpkin tobacco. Because when I was growing up, for my birthday, for Thanksgiving, my favorite part was always having pumpkin pie. But I remember how tobacco would smell around the same time with my dad outside smoking turkeys and sitting out there in the freezing weather with a pack of cigarettes. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to try my hand at making a pumpkin tobacco. I know it's going to be a pain in the butt, but I'm going to try.
And when you make something, just don't give up on it. Try it, tweak it, keep going, let it steep. Most times people just think they make something, they try it that one time, and that's the only way to do it, and give up and move on to something else. Try again. You're not always going to get it on the first go. First you don't succeed, try again. It's all about picking yourself back up, dusting yourself off, and going at it again. Determination, and you'll start doing what you need to do. It'll start happening for you.
That's for sure. So I'm going to ask a question that I get a lot on my shows because I do like to help out with some basic DIY tips because honestly, getting into it is more of a mindset you have to get over than actually mixing. Because when I mixed my first juice, I had goggles, I had gloves, I had syringes, I had cylinders, I had everything. Just because I was so scared about mixing it. But if you had a first-time DIYer in the room, what setup would you recommend for a person first going out on it?
Well, when you first start, I wouldn't go too big. You want a clean spot. You don't have a stainless steel table. Aluminum foil is sterile from the roll. Take a couple pieces out. It's only your house in the house. You're making it for yourself. Roll it out on the table. Sterile on the roll. You'll need a couple syringes, probably 10 mils. And if you don't want to buy them, run to your local Walgreens, CVS. Ask for a baby one, the 10 mil one. Make it with that. Get a couple free ones for it at first. See if you're good at it and don't waste a lot of them. That's what I did. A few pipettes. You can always buy some from any of these sites that's packed really cheap. You're not going to need that much. Then you get your Nick, your PG, and your juice. And then whatever flavors you're thinking about making. It's really simple. You don't have to go all crazy. When you're first doing it at home and you're not doing it for sale, you don't have to be super precise. 3 mil pipette, a little 10 mil syringes, and you're good to go. And just make a clean spot. Like I said, aluminum foil, stir out the roll, throw it on the table, make your juice. So like that, you're working off a clean table at home.
Nice. That's one option, Amy. Just let me and Joe make juice for you. That's awesome. But the reason I bring up that question is there's a wide majority of people that get into DIY, and you've got, say, person A, they buy 1 or 2 flavorings, they buy a little bit of VG, they buy a little PG, they buy a little bit of Nick. Whereas you got Big Baller over here who spends money to get like 50 flavors and, a friggin' quart of PG and VG and a liter of Nick, and, they're just all in it with money. I mean, how much would you recommend getting from the start?
Oh, man. If you're going to start, you can go to most sites and pick up a little 4 ounce of each to start and see where you're going with it. You don't want to spend all that money if you find that it's not for you. Like, cooking's not for everybody. Basketball is not for everybody. Some things are not for everybody. Don't go crazy at the beginning. Start off small, and then if you find yourself doing well, then, go bigger. Buy a liter of VG, a liter of PG. It's only $12-13 for them. And then save it around when you get into it. And that'll last you a long time when you're doing it at home by yourself.
Yeah, because I remember when I started out with mine, I bought a 30 ml bottle of Nick, and then I ended up buying 2 little small jugs of PG and VG. Now I've got a quart of PG sitting in my cupboard, a pint of VG, and 2 120 mils of Nick. That's just for me. So once you get used to it and get involved with it quite a bit, it's a lot easier to keep a lot of stuff around. So you always got options.
Let me answer a question real quick. Coffee tobacco is a really tobacco. I have wacky. Well, out right now, the only probably one you can get is Trip Y4 or coffee tobacco, and that's at LJ's.com, LJDsmoke.com.
Yep. Good site. I buy most of my stuff from there, so I'll throw in a link here in the chat for people that are unfamiliar. But yeah, LJ's got some good prices on stuff, that's for sure.
And they're good people.
Definitely.
That's the kind of, service that I stood by, and that's the kind of people I like to wholesale my juice to, that they keep the same standards as I did.
Yep.
It's a light coffee in the coffee tobacco, Amy.
And welcome to the room, Andy. Also known as WNY Vapor. $15 for 30 mils. Yeah, that's a pretty good price right there. That breaks off to about 50 cents per mil, so not bad at all. You know me, I'm a budget buddy. What's up, Pink? Yes, your juice daddy's on with me tonight. Yeah, and that's one thing I do want to talk about real quick. Is we had originally planned this afternoon for Lord Davin to do a 4 or 5 hour broadcast from the meet. Unfortunately, he had shitty Wi-Fi at his meetup location. My Wi-Fi was jacked earlier from storms here in our area, so we had to cut it short. So all of you that tuned in at that time and the show was down, I do sincerely apologize. We'll try to get something special lined up with Lord Davin again in the future, but I hope y'all didn't have too much of a bummer of an afternoon, so check us out again, definitely. We've always got stuff going on. But back to you, Joe, so I can pick on you a little more, if that's all right. So, all right, so you got Coquito. That's what you vaped all the time. I'm going to assume you did really, really good with the juice. You were liking it a lot. What made you eventually decide to go into business? Because I see a new business pop up almost every other day, but almost every other day I see one going out of business as well. So what made you decide to go ahead and take a leap of faith there and start up a business for yourself?
Well, I wasn't intending on it. I had someone approach me. I was so into vaping and so adamant about it and passionate about it that it actually helped. So they offered to be my partner and we started a company. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. You know, I've been working on some stuff. I'll hit it harder. We'll do everything we need to and we'll get it going. And that's how it started. One thing led to another, and then, you know, word of mouth, you guys, everybody buying the juice, and your word of mouth, it just grew so big, bigger and bigger. It was exponentially growing.
Yeah, and that's how the majority of vapors nowadays get their information. Because, I mean, I started vaping, 16 months ago now. And the thing is, when I started out, I knew just ECF forum, and that was it. I didn't know about video reviews, didn't really read written reviews, so people forget that word of mouth goes a long way, but yeah, that's a big implementation now. Pretty much people won't buy a juice they've never heard about before. That's the plain truth. But go ahead.
If there's no one screaming about it, they won't buy it, but most of the times people are screaming about a juice that they like. Each person's taste is different. It's like me telling you, your shoe's on too tight, bud. How would I know how your shoe feels on your feet? How do I know what you're going to like?
No joke. All right, so eventually you went ahead, you started a business. I mean, what did you sell, like forum-based or through private messages or what? How did you start out from there?
I started out, I was selling around, making extra money to build my company because I only had a little bit to start up. Mm-hmm. I had such great sales in person from just my friends and family and everybody that kept catching on to it that I felt I really had something good there. So as soon as the site went up, I just threw all the flavors that I was creating over time up onto the site, you know, and it just popped. So, but I went straight to a website. I put up the website right away. I probably did it for I did the making a juice 3 months, so I sold to people probably 3 months, and then the website went up, had to get the merchant account. You know, none of that was easy. It all takes time when you first start up.
Right. Well, everything that's worth it in the end isn't going to start out easy.
Oh, no, you have to work hard for things you want in life.
Yep, exactly. So the website eventually becomes what, eVapor Clouds?
eVapor Clouds, yeah.
So just to get an idea, because I came in after you'd already had the site up a while, and yes, I heard it off word of mouth that Papa Smurf was awesome and I needed to check it out. So, like, what was an example of, like, the lineup you had when you first started? What was available and how many flavors?
I had 33 flavors to start.
Oh, my God.
I started with 33 flavors, and that was it. And, you know, by the end of that, and when everybody was in the group, I was up to 100, maybe 180, 170 or 180, something like that.
It was monotony.
I had it coming soon. And that was another thing. Juice vendors, I was looking at it. The juices never changed. It was the same juices on their site all the time. Nothing coming soon. Nothing ever new all the time coming out. So I did that coming soon and always try to create something more and extra for you guys, you know, for me too, because I like to vape and I like to vape different things.
No, I totally get that. And I remember how many complaints would go up in the e-vapor clouds group of, damn, Joe, you need to slow down. I just got paid. I have to buy my regular stuff, and then you've got all these new flavors available.
But that's what you want. You want to be able to always have something new and fresh. Vaping is not like smoking. It's not your pack of cigarettes, you know you can go into the store, get your brand, walk out, and go. You get tired of flavor. It's just pure flavor. So you're going to get tired of flavors. You might have to go to something else and come back to one of your favorite flavors.
Right. No, that's for sure. And it's like you said, I say when you said you had 33 flavors to start out, I was like, damn. Because I know companies that have been out there for several years already that don't have more than 33 flavors. They definitely don't usually bring out anything new. But, I will say there are some people who just stick with something, that's what they have. But it is nice to see innovation, or else I think you honestly could get rusty. I know myself, some days I have my favorite vape, I go to vape it in the morning, I'm like, yeah, I don't want this today, so I make something else. But for people who buy it, it's not that easy. So it is nice that you had a lot of options.
And then, take people's input in about it. See, I would take everybody's input in a whole if the juice came out. So if I heard like 20 or 30 people said something was too sweet or needed this, then I would adjust it. But I would never tell anybody. I would slightly adjust it, put it back out, and see how it floated the next time. So most of the time, people never even knew I remastered the juice. But I was always looking to make each juice better, even if you guys liked it already and someone else complained.
Right. And that's the thing is, some people, it depends on what stage you're at in vaping too. You could have a juice, you change like 1% of the flavoring with something else, completely different to you, and the other people are like, what's different? That's just how it goes, though.
Yep, it happens. Flavors change too. Flavors come different every time from a company. You never know what you're going to get. So that's why I used to like to buy in gallons, keep the same flavor for longer.
There you go. And nice, Amy. Illanilla is Joe's best. Coquito's a close second, just saying.
Illanilla is very good. But Heaven's Kiss is very good as well.
Oh, we've seen the 45-gallon bottles that Phil Busardo carries around with him at all times.
Yeah, he loves... No, that one's Heaven Nectar. He loves that one.
Oh, that's right. I get confused with those two all the time.
Everybody does.
What's funny is I never bought either one of them, and I still got confused. I was like, oh... The only reason I've never tried Illanilla is that has butterscotch in it, right?
It has, but that's a diactyl-free butterscotch. Oh, you don't like butterscotch itself? It's a very light butterscotch.
Well, the thing is, I don't like butterscotch anything. So I remember way back when I tried the organic butterscotch from you, and it was good. It just wasn't my thing at all. I'm like, damn. Everybody loves this. Why can't I like it too? But it happens. Different strokes for different folks, for sure.
That's exactly why I used to like to make so many juices. Cover everybody's taste.
Yep. Now, the question everybody's been dying to know this whole time, which do you wear, Joe? Do you wear boxers or briefs?
Joe Castro has to wear boxer briefs, see?
Best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds. I always try to bring the best of both worlds to anything I do.
Oh, my God. That's my preferred choice, too. I don't like to stick to one mold.
Yeah.
So, alright, so we had e-vapor clouds come up. It got really big. You got really busy. Up almost 24 hours a day sometimes, mixing juice, to where I'd be talking to you at 5 in the morning. Hey, I know you're up making like 40 million orders, so what are you doing? I'm going to bug you now. But there are a few in here probably that are contemplating at some point opening up a business. So what's been your biggest challenge, not only running a vaping business, but a business in general?
You have to be dedicated. If you're going to do something, you have to do it right. You have to be 100%, 110% in it. And nothing comes easy in life. You do what you have to do. You have to make it work. But most of the challenge now is getting a merchant account. And that's the hardest part of doing everything, getting right orders in, getting stuff sent in from places, finding those connections. It's not easy to do. Minimum orders. People think you're buying oh, I could buy 100, put it on the site. No, you have to buy a minimum of 500 of one, a minimum of 500 of this, a minimum of 500 of that. You know, that starts adding up. So I never tell anybody that it was easy and it just costs nothing, or, you know, you have to be willing to work and make money. I was making money putting it back in all the time. And then, you know, I was doing that testing stuff and everything else to make sure I was getting the best mix, best quality product put out there for everyone. So it was, all those things are challenges and hurdles you have to come over.
All right, and that's good advice for any walk of life, really.
Yeah.
That's the thing that, and I know you brought it up earlier, which is the only reason I'm going to say something. But the only thing I find more annoying than Chinese vendor spam on all the groups on Facebook would have to be where you see somebody that you know, you've watched them come up, they got their first e-cig a month later, oh, I mixed my first juice, I'm going into business, here's my information, buy from me. So that's why I say, because you got a lot of long-time people who want to get into business vaping, so some of them think it's going to be as easy as PMing back and forth with somebody, but I haven't seen that to be the case for anyone.
No, that's not how it works at all. Right now, see, with all the how hard it was back then, it's not going to be like that this time. You're going to see faster shipping, stuff going out quicker. You know, now we compiled a team. You know, Exton, Hughes, Daniel, we're partners now, and he had an idea for some great flavors and making super juice, and he wanted to get the flavors from me. And but it ended up turning out we liked each other so much that we worked together, and he, you know, came and gave me a facility and, you know, biochemist to work with and everything I need to make me be able to do what I need to do, bring EBC, well, Flavorz by Joe now, the way up to where it needed to be and what I wanted to do, my dream to come true. So we're working on some super juice, which is a different way of, you know, mixing some juices already steeped and everything, but that's going to be later down in the future. And, you know, we're working together and to make it, you know, to do it the right way. A pharmaceutical grade, laboratory pharmaceutical grade juice for you guys, you know, the proper way, the proper things for everybody, you know, do everything the right way and have, you know, everyone happy, be able to show you where everything's done and you can feel safe and, you know, you have a little bit more peace of mind when you make a purchase.
Right. No, that's definitely important because the thing is, the biggest thing that vapors are worried about nowadays, just from what I've seen and what I myself have contemplated, is the fact that at this point, vaping gets bigger every day. At this point, there's 2 million known vapors that we know about. People buying disposables and brand new kits every day. So it's going to come down to where they need the FDA regulation. And honestly, I feel if a lot of these vendors don't step up and actually put some proof in the pudding for what's going on with their juices, it could spell a lot of businesses closing for, you know, mom and pop shops and different stuff like that.
The warehouse is actually going to be the lab, and that's what we're working on with, I'm working on with Daniel. So that's going to be big enough to handle everything we need to do. Since we've grown so much as Flavorz by Joe Wholesale, and we're going to bring back the website. We need all that space to be able to grow for all you guys. You guys made me grow so big before. I want to be able to have the space to keep growing and produce everything you guys need and keep it up to par with a quality product shipping out the next day. So you don't have to wait. And this is talking about having juice made to order, shipped out, you know, boom, boom, boom. And it's going out there. It's going to be a whole new level of juice making, especially all the plans and stuff we have going on.
That is so awesome to hear. And I'm not disapproving. I'm excited because the thing is, Amber, if you know my vaping history, here's how it went. I found one juice. I vaped it for 4 months straight, got tired of that juice, bounced around from vendor to vendor to vendor, and then what happened? I ordered one time from Joe and he got my money almost every week. Every time I had spare money, I was trying a new bottle of Joe's juice, so I'm very excited to hear that he's working with Axton Hughes on putting something awesome together. So, yeah, no way I'm disapproving. I'm over here, like, trying not to reach for tissues for how excited I am because I'm going to shed a tear over here.
Yeah, the warehouse we have used to be a factory, so it has everything set up to go. So we're now doing all that. So, you know, everything's going great here. I came over here. I got myself a little condo. Within like 24 hours, 48 hours, I was already in my condo, right up the street from the lab. like that, I can be at the lab mixing and working and whenever I need. So, everything is just coming together in the way it's supposed to. And there's some days I have me and my assistant, we're working 20 hours a week just trying to get all the permits and proper papers and everything else, 20 hours, 12 hours in the day just to get all the proper papers, 20 hours, sorry. 12 hours in a day just getting all the proper paperwork and proper documents and everything to have everything the way it's supposed to be.
That's amazing. That is amazing to hear. Now,
So,
I've got to ask you, since you said you've been vaping, a year and 7 months or so, we talked about egos a little bit ago, how it can still be a good vape with what you got it paired with. But what is your favorite setup as far as out of all the PVs? What kind of Addy do you like to use? What would be your favorite if you could only have one setup?
if I can only have one setup, I love a low resistance 510 Addy. I can't. I like too many things, man. You're narrowing me down. I really like 901 too, so it's a toss-up, bro. I'll say 510. Those were my first love. We'll go with 510s. I like a 1.5 510. Just vapes really nice, but you can't always be gripping. So, Pardo tank, put a Bogue in it as a backup. I always use my Provari at the house, and then I take out my SL out for the go because, it's not that heavy as a Provari in your pocket when you're walking around. It's not dragging your pants down with a Provari's heavy, so your pants are falling all the time within your pocket. So that's basically how I do it because this will give me my nice vape until then. I find since I've been vaping so long that I've been already on mods, after a while ego feels almost lacking and it almost feels like when you want a cigarette, like you're fiending for a cigarette, you're like, oh man, I need a cigarette. I almost feel like that sometimes when I'm vaping off the ego after a while. It takes a while for it to happen. It's just because I'm used to higher voltage.
Yeah, same here. That's what I do anymore. My preferred vape setup for the entire day is usually my Varivolt Mammoth mod from Motor City Mods, and I pair that with standard res cartomizer, 3 ohms. I could take that all the way up to 5.2, but I usually leave it around 4.6. So if I had a setup, it would be some device that does 4.6 and a standard res 306 for sure.
Oh, I love 306. See, I don't like just to vape one thing.
Right.
I like 306s. I like the 510s. I like the 901s. If I'm gonna go out and you can't drip, a Bogue in a tank, I use the clean tank because actually the flavors taste better in it. So I find in a Finiac tank. I like the glass one. That's just my personal preference. You might like a plastic, but I find that if you have a glass one, it's easier to clean out and get a newer flavor. Plastic gets residuey and get old over time anyway. Look, you'll end up over time. In 7 months, if I was using only plastic, I would have spent $70 on tanks anyway. I could spend $70 on one tank that's going to last me 2, 3, 10 years. You know what I mean? As long as I don't break it.
Yeah, good point. That's what I'm looking into is Finiac tank pretty soon.
I don't recommend Finiac tank. They're very nice. That's what I started with. And then I bought every glass tank thereafter because, people like to ask my opinion on things. Mm-hmm. So I tend to buy the new stuff so I can have an opinion for them. You know me, my 1-minute video. I don't want to review something. I want to show you something, tell you how I feel about it quickly, or easy tricks and tips that'll help you during vaping. It's just my opinion, so there's no point to put up a 13-minute video for something you're just going to tell about yourself, how you feel about something. Put up the wham bam, tell you about it. If you're interested, try it for yourself. Everybody's different.
That's a good point. Very good point. So just to ask, I know with testing flavors, what I usually get into is I'll mix like a 5 or 10 ml bottle if it's just an off the cuff, juice to try, and I'll usually vape the entire bottle within the day or however long I have it steeping. So how much do you end up vaping a day with as many flavors as you make?
You would think I vape more, but I don't. I vape about 1 ml a day. If that, maybe 2 when I'm a little bit stressed. This I filled this morning, and that's all I vape all day. Let me see if it shows up on the can. See?
And I think I remember, I don't know if you're still doing it though, but are you still on 12?
Yeah, 12 milligrams. I dropped down to 6, but again, I got stressed out with some things and I went back up to 12. I found 12 is my go-to. Might as well stick with it. And I feel better. I feel sick like when I smoke cigarettes. So I said I was trying to quit off of it, but I actually enjoy it. You know, I feel like it's a better alternative. And you know what? I'd probably keep smoking. Enjoyed smoking. So it's not about quitting anymore to me. It became something that I enjoyed and loved and felt adamant about and had passion for. And I just didn't want to just give it up like that. Stood
Right.
with it. And I find it helps. My dad was sick. My dad's sick, actually. And the doctor had told him, oh, you quit smoking. And, you know, he was vaping for 6 months. So that's why he thought he quit smoking. He was like, no, my son got me vaping. So in my mind, I can't prove it. I can't prove anything about it. But to me, I know how I feel. And I know what I heard and I saw in my life. So I find that it's better. So I think it's actually helping people. In my heart, I feel like it helps.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. Just noticing the difference in the way I am from a year ago. Completely different with all the health issues I had going on. So.
Yeah, it's all about personal preference. You make a choice in life with everything. When you go buy a car with side airbags doesn't mean if you get into an accident you're going to live. It's just, you know, it's an extra security to make sure you might or maybe better, you know, in the long run.
All right. Good point. So we've talked about the. Go ahead, man.
I'm not talking.
Oh, sorry. I think the air conditioner kicked on. It's throwing me off. I thought Joe said something, but I'm not sure.
It was an echo.
Yeah, that happens. So we've talked about the warehouse. You're working with Axton Hughes. You're gonna completely make juice on a whole nother level. What other stuff can we expect from you in the future other than this new venture you're doing?
Well, the new venture is pretty much what I'm focused on now because it's taking all of the energy of what I need now. After I get everything up and running, I'll start doing more things and trying to create different things and see what else I can do with, you know, with the knowledge I gained through working and now with my new biochemist assistant, getting all the proper things and, you know, moving it up to a whole new level.
Very cool. And, you know, like I said, there's a lot of people that used to buy from e-Vapor Clouds. They still buy from LJ's to get Flavorz by Joe or Delaware Vapors. So, you know, you've been around the whole time. But it makes me excited to see that you're just doing new stuff all the time. It's always exciting to hear something from you.
Thanks. I like to keep doing things, and the wholesales are going to stay. I love my wholesales, and I love my people, and I'm going to take care of them. We're going to do everything the right way, and everything's going to still be the way Joe Castro always keeps himself going. You know, try to keep things professional, personal. You know, I treat everybody's sale like if you bought a 5 ml bottle or a 6 ml bottle, you bought 20 bottles. That sale was as important to me as any other sale. And that's how I treat everybody. Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yep.
You know, most of the vendors, when I was buying juices and all that, they're a faceless computer. I'm not to knock them or anything, but that was something for me, it was a turnoff, you know? You want to buy something, you know, it's like when you walk into the store and you go to your favorite store, you pick up a thing and they know you there because you're a regular. It gives you a better feeling, you know?
Right. No, I totally get that. That's the thing I like is when I do buy from people, I like to try to get to know them as much as I can. Maybe I'll just read their About Us comments on their website. You know, whatever. Go read their forum posts if they're somewhere. But I like to get a sense of who I'm buying from. And when vendors take that extra step to actually reach out there and try to get to know you, even though you know they're busy all the time, it does mean a lot because you know your money's not going towards nothing. You know that if at some point you have problems, they're going to be there to help you fix it. Just like I love doing with LJ's. I talk to them all the time. I'm in their group. And I've talked to Lee earlier today. I said hi while they're getting set up for her vape meet. But, you know, they're awesome to work with. It's nice that you can see that from vendors nowadays and something that can be so impersonal.
Yeah. Lee's great lady. Lee and Henry, I love them too. They're like a mom and dad.
Yeah,
I call you my mama.
Yep. Oh, what's up, Kevin? How you doing? Kevin's creepy.
Creepy.
So, after all this time vaping, what is the one thing you would change about vaping, if anything?
I would change about vaping? Man, I wish I had an endless battery. I hate charging my battery.
One that charges and just self-cycles and charges and vapes at the same
Oh,
time.
you know what? They should make the Proveri that you just set it down, and when you set it down on a charger, it charges the battery. Like a mod that would just sit and charge while you just put it down, because you know you're putting your mod down.
Mm-hmm.
A little charger underneath that's automatically charging it while it's sitting there. It'd be great.
That
Not
would
a
be...
pass-through. No. Just like a dock that just held it and it's charging like that. Pick it up, and you're good to go.
Well,
Isn't that a good idea?
That is a great idea, because a few months ago I saw that they actually had an Ego kit like that available.
Yeah, sell them before eBay for Cloud closed. That's why I was thinking about it. But it's an Ego. I'm talking about your mod.
No,
that'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. Yeah, give ProVape the idea or something. They'll be happy to charge us more money. But yeah, I'm fixing to pull the trigger myself. Tuesday's my birthday, so week after, I'm actually going to be able to pull the trigger finally on a Proveri. It's just what color I'm going to get I've got a debate about.
Yeah, now with Axe and Hughes on the team, you know, we're having the team that can be more personal and be there and doing shipping quicker and being more personal with everybody. I love to meet everybody and get to know everybody personally and be a friend. Not just I just don't want you to be my customer. I want you to be my friend. I want you to be able to, feel comfortable.
Yep.
Feel safe. But any mod, it doesn't have to be a Proveri with a dock. Any mod with a little docking thing would be awesome.
Yeah, no joke. Because, yeah, that is the thing. You don't have it in your mouth all day. I always have to put mine down to go run after the kids or something or change a diaper, so that would be awesome.
Thank you, Amy. I try.
Yeah, that's how I felt, too. So I'm completely with Amy's sentiment. That's awesome.
I grew to love a lot of you guys like if you were family. I think of you as I thought of everyone as my family, not just, my cousins.
Yep. No, that's always the feeling we got. That's why I kept buying from there and, made friends with everybody. And, I mean, we still got a group going now in Flavorz by Joe. It just moved over there. The same people are there and everything.
Yeah, we'll get that group going back again and everything will be back. And then in a little bit of time, everything is getting worked on the right way. I'm not to knock anybody else that makes juice or anything, because I was making juice that way too, but, you have to progress and do better, You want to do something, you do it better. You want to make it better and better and better. The more you can make it better. To me, that means the world to me. Making something better and better and better. Taking something so far beyond what you need to do it, that it's in its class of its own.
Yeah, and it's important. Like I said, with the way this entire e-cigarette industry is changing, it's important for people to progress and get on board and do something different. It's nice to see you're taking those measures, and it couldn't have been with a nicer guy to do it. But the last question I have for you tonight, as far as an official interview with you, is what is the one thing you'd like everyone here tonight to know about you that they may not know about Joe Castro?
Oh, let me see. I'm just a regular person like all of you guys. I'm just like you. I'm one of you. We're all together. I was a vapor first, and I'll always stay a vapor no matter how big I get or how big I can get. I'll always be one of you guys a vapor. And that's the way to be. That's how I see myself. I don't see myself as a vendor. I see myself as a vapor.
That's awesome. That's the right mindset for a lot of people. And it's good to know that even with everything and as busy as you've been and everything, just to see somebody humble, that's awesome. That means a lot to everybody. But I do want to thank you for coming on tonight, doing the interview with me. And if you got time, we should hang out some more, because my show's not over.
Yeah, I got time. We can hang out a little bit more.
Sweet.